Colorado versus Stanford. Stanford is a team that has been hurting this season. They have won all of one game, and that was the first game against Hawaii, and Hawaii doesn't look too good either. So they beat Hawaii 37-24, the first game of the season. Now, this is the team who just played Oregon last week, and they lost 42-6. Well, guess what? Oregon is the same team that beat Colorado 42-6. So the question is Colorado going to come in here and show up like the team that was showing up when they played Oregon? Or are they going to show up like the team when they played TCU at the beginning of the season? Can they even show up like the team that played USC? Can they show up? Because, when we talk about Colorado and their personality, this is a team that gives you heart attacks when you watch. You don't want to watch this game while you're eating a good meal, because you're not going to digest that meal very well, because Colorado is going to make you have heart attacks while you're watching the game. So who's going to show up against Stanford? Now, they are expected to win. Colorado is expected to beat Stanford by 11.5 points. They got the spread at 11.5 points. All right, because once again, Stanford is coming in here 1 win, 4 losses, where we got Colorado is 4-2 now. Colorado is expected to come out of this game at 5-2. That's what they're expected. But again, can we not have a heart attack, Colorado? That's what we like to ask. Can we not? Can you make us not have a heart attack as we watching this game? I say this every week. All right. We want to make sure we don't look past this team. Don't underestimate them, because once again, this team is playing this game like it is a bowl game. Everybody's going to be watching this Stanford game. So the last thing Colorado wants to do is take this game lightly. And I wouldn't say they took ASU lightly, which they won that game last week 24-27, but they barely pulled it out. They almost went into overtime because of the way they were not showing up. So with Colorado this week, can you show up? This team, once again, they lost to Oregon 42-6, but then Colorado lost to Oregon 42-6. Who's going to show up? What do they need to do to win? What do they need to do to win? The same thing I was saying they need to do last week. They got to run the ball. And I said this last week, or last session rather, too. I couldn't believe that I was hearing Coach Prime say they were going to abandon the run, as he talked about, we just don't do it that well. We just don't do it good, so we just not going to do it. We're not going to just do stuff just to be doing it. Then he turned around and said, if a woman can't cook, why would you ask her to commit to cooking? Well, because the family going to starve, Coach Prime. You don't just shut the kitchen down. Keep the kitchen open so she can learn to cook. Now, why is it this team has one of the most highly touted running back rooms and they're not using the running backs? For me, seriously, everybody needs to see the field. Because when they start running the ball, then the line gives Shedeur time to throw. I told you this. I'm going to say this again. I'm going to keep saying it. It's not the offensive line's fault that Shedeur keeps getting sacked. It's not their fault. What you talking about, Diesel? They the ones not blocking. Listen, the offensive line has told us who they are. Them po babies. Them po babies on the offensive line. Everybody know they sorry. Look, all the media is talking about how sorry they are. All the YouTubers are talking about how sorry they are. Everybody talking about how sorry they are. And you got Coach Prime talking about playing like hot garbage. I wouldn't be surprised if I see a t-shirt pop up with the offensive line on it, and on the above it say hot garbage. Them poor babies. They already told you who they are. They already told you who they are. As far as I'm concerned, it is the coaches and Shedeur. Make them run the ball. Run the ball. That's going to give you time, Shedeur, to throw the ball. You're already up there. But can we get you less sacks? You can get less sacks when you run the ball. And then when you run the ball, that's going to cause the defense to back up. When the defense backs up, then you can throw the ball. They need to also take time to run the ball. Why? Colorado has taken painstaking efforts to condition those players. Use it. What am I talking about? See, when you're running the ball, right? You running the ball, you want to get your receivers to run those defensive backs up and down the field. Get your receivers to run them up and down the field. Get them tired. Colorado is built for this. Colorado is built for making them run up and down the field. They built for that. That's why Coach Prime stopped them in the middle of practice and he running 100 yards back and forth and back. Do you know how hard that is? We just doing it on a tennis court. 3 times, you gasping. So Coach Prime has conditioned them to where they can take it. So let them run those defensive backs up and down the field. They get tired. Then when it's time for Shedeur to throw, they nice and tired. And everybody gonna be open. Everybody's gonna be open. That's why you take your time, so that you have fewer opportunities for a pick. But let them do what they've been doing in practice. They've been working on running up and down the field. Let them do it. The other team cannot take that. They not built for this. But Colorado is. That's why you run it and you let them run those defensive back. Make them think that, oh, I'm ready to get the ball. See, then they can come back to Shedeur and say, hey, Shedeur, that back can't keep up with me. So I'm going to be open. And then, oh, my goodness, we get to eat up the clock. That's important. Eating up the time on the clock. Don't even give them a chance to get on the field. They're expected to beat Stanford by 11.5 points. All right. I just would like a game where they play good, solid football. They're running it, and no sacks and no heart attacks. No sacks and no heart attacks.